pro-life students at the University of Ottawa have lost official campus club status. So what is Ontario's Premier Doug Ford going to do about this infringement on their free speech? Back in 2017, the University of Ottawa Students for Life, that's of course a pro-life group on campus, lost their official campus club status. Now, before I go on, I want to make it perfectly clear why it's so important for campus clubs to have official status recognized by the university. Official status gives them the ability to rent space at the university, and it also gives the groups access to some funding that is collected from mandatory tuition fees or mandatory student union dues. Students for Life had requested, as per usual, club status in the fall of September 2017, and they received an email on October 13th of the same year saying that they had indeed been approved as a club by the University of Ottawa. But just one short week later, their club status had been removed by the university in an email citing the reasons as, and I quote, "due to the ways in which your mandate is in contention with the Student Federation of the University of Ottawa's principles." And previously to all of this, the Student Federation had ordered the pro-life club to stop having an information table at the university center, citing unspecified complaints received about the group. Now, back in 2017, the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms took up the cause of free speech for these pro-life students on campus. Now let's speed ahead to, I guess, today, but first to October 19th, 2019, Students for Life announced that they had been approved for official campus club status back on October 8th. The organization that coordinates clubs under the University of Ottawa's student union, the CVUO, said that Students for Life didn't violate any policies. Okay, great. Free speech for all or free speech for none. It took 2 years for the university to come to its senses, but here they are doing the right thing, right? Wrong. Friends, this is a university campus and crazy's in charge. On October 28th, 2019, after a petition was circulated around campus to block the club's reinstatement, the University of Ottawa's Students' Union unanimously passed a motion from its interim equity commissioner, Judy El-Motadi, at their board of directors meeting to make the Students' Union stance officially pro-choice. Now, what an ironic name, the Equity Commissioner, when she's silencing people in the name of equity. Anyway, it was evident that the writing was on the wall for the pro-life club because the Students' Union also drafted an equity code at this very same meeting that targeted them. This is from an article in the Fulcrum about that meeting. A draft of the equity code shown at the meeting included a section that said the union may withhold recognizing an organization if their activities meet a set of criteria in the eyes of the board of directors and the General Assembly set for November 7th. That includes activities that are likely to be unlawful, violate U of O policies, constitute discrimination under the Ontario Human Rights Code, impede legitimate lawful activities of the U of O students, or have a, quote, substantially negative impact on a significant number of U of O students. Do you see what's happening here? What a scam. They can't ban the pro-life club under the current rules, so they're changing the rules. The student union was setting the stage to rig the system so that they can revoke approval of this group retroactively. But the club's status was not quite officially revoked yet. However, it is now. On December 7th, the University of Ottawa Student Union Student Life Commissioner announced that the pro-life group would not have access to any funding. And then on January 6th, it was announced that the pro-life club would not have that valuable official status anymore. The censorious pro-choice left on campus was absolutely overjoyed with this decision. From the Charlatan article on the revocation, "None of us want to be here, especially during exams," said Jade Lavoie, president of the Conflict Studies and Human Rights Association. "It shows how much our campus doesn't want this club here, not for another second." I guess this person's Human Rights Association doesn't believe in the human rights of free expression, free speech, free association, free thought, freedom of religion. And in the Fulcrum article on the topic, a young woman described as Bridget, who runs the 175-strong uOttawa Defenders of Our Campus Facebook page, said, "I don't believe in them, University of Ottawa Students for Life, getting a part of my tuition and student union resources. I don't want my tuition to go toward a group that advocates against my basic human rights." There are a lot of things on campus that conservative students, both the fiscal or social conservative sort, are forced to pay for that they don't like. For example, I can't imagine that devoutly Christian students would like to pay for this New Age crystal singing bowl meditation thingamajiggy held on the 1st of February, or this drag show taking place on March 14th. But all of a sudden now, the campus left is against forcing people to pay for things that they don't like. Now they know how people like me who believe in right to work legislation feel, right? So the campus left, they need to pick a lane, and they can't have it both ways. If student groups are going to be funded through mandatory student fees, then they can not only go to left-wing causes or groups. It's all or nothing. It's for everybody or it's for nobody at all. And maybe it's time for the government of Ontario to step up and put its money where its mouth is and do exactly what it promised. Premier Doug Ford was elected on a promise that free speech on Ontario campuses would be protected for everybody. Ford's policy was officially announced in August of 2018, and it requires Ontario campuses to adopt the Chicago Principles of free speech. Now, the Chicago Principles, if you don't know, mandate that it is the responsibility on the part of the university community to maintain a climate of civility and mutual respect. And it's not a justification to prevent discussion of ideas, even if some or even most of the members of the university find them disagreeable, offensive, unwise, immoral, or wrong-headed. Premier Ford promised that universities who are found non-compliant with these requirements would risk losing funding. So maybe it's time to do a little bit of a compliance check on the University of Ottawa. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. At Rebel News, we believe in free speech for ourselves, for pro-life students on campus, heck, even for vegans in New Brunswick. To help us keep fighting for freedom, treat yourself to a Rebel subscription. Just go to premium.rebelnews.com to subscribe today.